Hello everyone, another week, another video. So today I'm going to briefly talk about something that's still very much has kind of fresh on my mind, and that is the hardest part about coming out. Uh, Now this is something that people in people in the LGBT community, it's a dilemma that we all have to face, and I imagine there's still a great deal of people in this community that unfortunately are still dealing with that. It's I mean, from my own perspective, from my own take, is probably probably one of the top biggest challenges in that sort of journey, and that's journey if I'm making any sense right now. But I'm gonna kind of briefly offer my own sort of perspective. Now, for me personally, I'm a very kind of laid back, easygoing individual. I just mostly walk through each day through life, just laid back, just going with the punches, just kind of going with the flow and just generally just kind of just being very easygoing. But when it came to coming out as trans, I don't think I'd ever been so nerve wracked and so shaken about something probably in my whole life up to, like so far, and and that's primarily because of the social aspect of the sort of that social anxiety. Now, it's for those that know me, it's no secret that I have, I am socially awkward. I have social anxiety. I just when it comes to interacting with others on a social level, I am like on a whole nother level of fucking bizarre around people until I get comfortable. That's just how I am. So when it came to coming out, it didn't. I was already kind of crippled by the fact of being socially awkward, but just having that nerve wracking anxiety just made it infinitely worse. For those first few months, I spent a lot of time, even more time, just being nerve wracked, keeping to myself, not wanting to communicate with other people, and just generally just being just devastated mentally, all because of that lingering paranoia that many nights kept me up awake, just wondering when the day finally came, or by somehow this just came out into the open, what the widespread reaction would be from my friends, my family, my peers, just anybody within anybody near me. How would they react to that? Whether it'd be good or bad. I just constantly thought to my assumed the worst and prepared myself mentally for the worst. And I think I probably didn't, and I probably that kind of mindset was very toxic and unhealthy for me, and it just built up this huge amount of kind of pressure for me, just sitting back thinking, oh my god, like I don't know how to tell people, I don't know how to air this out, I don't know how to think or feel. If anybody found this out, I don't if anybody found this out, what am I going to do if I get hit with a negative reaction, if I become this sort of pariah? I don't know what I'm going to do. And that's just how I was for months, outside of a close the few people I was confident enough to openly tell, and the pride, the sort of LGBT pride meetings that I go to almost just about every week, where those were kind of the safe spaces where I could just be open and be myself. Outside of that, everywhere else it was just kind of like I had to put on this face and just go business as usual and hope to God that I didn't potentially arouse any suspicion. And I think I just did a lot of harm to myself. And I eventually just reached a tipping point where I just kind of had to take a leap of faith, and I had to just stop caring and thought I need to do what's best for me, and I need to finally open up about this and just roll the dice and see what happens. And sure enough, I did. And to my surprise, the widespread response from my family, my close family, friends, and even some peers of mine were universally positive, and I was just surprised by that. I mean, I didn't know what to think. I didn't know how to feel. I just within that brief period of time, I felt this immense weight just lift off of my shoulders, to think like this immense pressure just off of it, and I can finally rest easy knowing that these people close to me, whose who I care for, who I consider very near and dear to me, whose opinions and, thoughts that I value personally are willing to still very much, love and accept me as I am, regardless of this otherwise big life changing thing. I felt shook. I was shocked. I was grateful grateful all at once to see all to to see those reactions after having spent so much time just sitting back, just assuming the worst, just thinking what's so and so gonna say, how am I gonna recover if this person turns their back on me, what am I gonna do in their absence? And sure enough, I didn't have to worry about any of that because that didn't really happen. And I'm beyond grateful for that. And yeah, I can only I think I can only wonder now, like, how different things could have went had I just you know been confident enough to to take a leap of faith and just trust that these people who care about me, that know me well enough, that are close to me, like how different things could have played out had I told them sooner rather than just go about it when I did. And but I'm not too concerned about that now. My concern is just now that it's done with, and so far it's it's so far and everything's fine. Everything's fine. So I think to conclude really is I don't think I really had a point. I think my point is, if there are any, is that it's challenging, but rather than do harm to yourself, waiting, assuming the worst, being paranoid and fearful of the worst, take a leap of faith, roll the dice, have faith, be hopeful that, hopeful that that if you being open, you being, being who you really are, opening up about that and, truly embracing all of that, knowing that that those closest to you really do care about you, they'll be there for you, and you'll really learn, who's there with you no matter what, who will always truly be there, for you, and in light of all of that, you can once again, you can just breathe easier knowing those people are there for you, and you can breathe easier knowing that you no longer have to hide anything, that you can just be proud, be optimistic, and just keep moving forward, being who you really are, and just going from there. So yeah, and that's really it. I think I rambled somewhat there, but I hope there was a little bit of I hope I kind of had some kind of focus or was on target just a little bit. But really, that's my whole take. That's my whole perspective on the challenge, on the the big challenge of coming out. Uh, if you have a story of yours or an experience or kind of your own perspective you'd like to share, don't be afraid to put those in the comments, and kind of put your it's kind of share your story if you want to, or if not, that's completely fine. I'm not really sure to wrap this up, but anyway, that's that. I'm super terrible at this, but anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll be back around next time. Take care.